does. It does feel good to be back, dude. I think I figured out the issue too. I think the issue.
I
I think there's a lot of things actually. I think it does feel cool though, man. I'm excited. I'm actually excited for the first time in a long time to talk right now. This is pretty sick. Just take it in for a second.
I am.
Just take it in for a second. No, I think the
That was
real
not long
issue
enough, taking
was
it
that okay. So I guess we're back to that too. Okay.
A little
Nice.
rusty.
Yeah,
A little
yeah,
rusty.
yeah. No, I think the real issue is that we weren't obviously we were limited on the green, and the issue with that was even when we had a little bit left, it was like while smoking it, you were like, I can't even enjoy this at the very end. This is an enjoyable look. I know with each puff, it's one less puff I'll have, you know. So it was like very introspective while smoking, so it just ruined everything. But now that we have an abundance again, now it's like I can fucking have fun with this. It's like that's a problem for an Alex so far in the future. It's not even worth worrying about today, you know.
But this current Robbie is trying to build the walls back up so that never happens again. I'm already I gotta get some more now.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm never letting that happen again ever.
Yeah, and then the other thing I was gonna say that's changed besides that is that we also finally were able to challenge in that natural competitive, you know, that harness the masculinity into 2K again, which we haven't done in so long. And we were playing a little 2K action. You're thinking like, really, that's the X factor? It might be. It was really fun going out there and balling out, even though, you know, for some reason, whenever I decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna really focus on one player. I'm not gonna just play. I'm gonna get my players' dues. It just always goes down with an injury, but you never get injuries on your team. So even though we're playing quick play, it's like, oh, Kawhi, nah. Kobe's not playing. Shaquille, nah. It's really annoying. I still beat you though. Is the fun part of that.
I wasn't really playing at the highest competitive level that I can play at.
Right.
I was a little.
So you think
too,
so you're
I think I could
your
have
highest
at least
really?
For sure, one of those games I could have absolutely schooled you in. That first game when I did win only by circumstance, I really could have won that time. I actually focused on that game. I'm confident in that. The rest of them I would have gotten schooled in, but
I'm not that confident you could have done that actually at all.
I have a theory as to what the big issue was, and I thought this was a funny theory, but after hearing how like eloquently you just presented everything you had to say,
Yeah.
I feel like this is gonna be one of the dumbest things I could possibly ever say.
Okay. Well, thankfully, in you know, you can go for it if you really want to. I feel like I've mentioned to you I'm very hungry and I haven't eaten today, and it's like 7:00 and I haven't eaten.
Oh,
so I was like, should I eat before the podcast and get sluggish, or should I wait for the cast, and then while the cast is going on, I'll slowly just start to zone in and out of consciousness as I'm trying, like, I need to consume something. Mm-hmm. And I thought that'd probably be more fun to look forward to the end of it, you know, get me through the thing where that's the thing I'm waiting for, opposed to coming in here and being full, which I thought was the right choice. But now, if you're going to be talking about some dumb shit, it's going to be very easy for me to zone out and then think this was the wrong choice. I should have eaten sooner. So you can go ahead with that accordingly.
Shit, I don't know how to say this now. Now I'm really afraid. There's a lot of pressure to not say this story now at all.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, too, right? Mm-hmm. This girl I know told me to start watching Bones, so I decided to give it a chance.
Ew.
Yeah.
Did you start watching it already?
Yeah. Episode 5.
Ew. You're that far into it?
I'll be honest. Episode 1 didn't do it for me. Episode 2, I thought was atrocious. I thought episode 1 was like, all right, it's whatever. It's not great. Episode 2 was like, this is the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. Episode 3, home run hit. I really enjoyed episode 3. I guess it was just the right case they had as the background since it's just a cop procedural.
That sounds like a natural spot, too, for it to hit.
So I was like, episode 3, ooh, nice. This is actually a really engaging case. Episode 4, I was like, this is actually pretty fun.
Really? I thought you were going to say back downhill.
Episode 5, I just paused. I'm like, I'll get to it later.
Oh, wow. How far did you get into
like 3 minutes. I was like, this is...
Right,
because they keep randomly implementing that apparently Emily Deschanel's character... also, I hate every character's name. Booth. And his first name is Steely. That's what they named David Boreanaz in this one.
Steely Booth?
Steely Booth.
A porn star?
I thought it sounded like a disease you'd get. It sounds like a thing like non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah, it does actually.
Steely Booth. Yeah. Like I'm sorry to inform you, you have 3 months to live. You have Steely Booth. It sounds archaic. It sounds like a plague. So that's his name. And then her name is like Temperance Brennan. Temperance Brennan.
No, who's named Bones?
Well, he calls her Bones, and they work with Bones.
Oh, that's stupid.
And the first thing they show you in the show is a pile of bones. So the show is like, guys, it's about bones.
Like the whole Grey's Anatomy thing.
No, this is what I don't like about it, though. They had this innate godly technology to like look at bone things, but they look at a bone, they can project the person's face from what the bone was. They can tell who it was. And it's this place called instead of the Smithsonian, it's the Jeffersonian.
That just
I think
flows.
they take place in Washington, and the first episode was like on location. It looked like for the most part, and then everything else since has been the most crude, disgusting use of like blue screen, green screen, or even God forbid when they were like there was one shot where they were standing on like a funeral, and they were like over the tree line. There's the Capitol, and I was like, that's not actually there, guys. That doesn't even look remotely like it's actually there.
That's fucked up. That's Fox. It's not like it's a.
It is Fox, which is crazy.
And like they can't just stand outside for that shot. Like how expensive could it possibly be to get that shot for 2 seconds?
Yeah. Well, it is a little ambitious though. Like these sets they're using in the show, especially the pilot. I was like, these are some pretty elaborate things you guys put into
that
this.
one was on location, and it's not even the good episode. It's the whatever episode. If you see it, you see it. Like, it could have been one of the ones that were like, holy shit, this is bones.
David Boreanaz though, I'm not sure how I feel about the cast. There's one character who's just this virgin guy, and he's just like everything I can hate in a person in one being. His face, his hair. No, I don't think you do. Because when I saw him, I was like, who the hell is this? I'm like, who is this asshole? No, wait, don't look it up yet. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Okay, and then he was in episode 2, and I was like, there's no fucking way this guy's in this show. I've never seen this man before. This person's. I've walked past this. I've seen the show. I've caught him. This person's not in a part of it. Apparently, they're in like the first few seasons. Okay, but this guy, it's his face, it's his voice, it's the way they write his character, it's his hair, it's his general being. All of these things, I'm just every time he talks, I'm just like, you can move on to the next scene. That you guys can actually, you guys want, let's go. Maybe this episode's like 38 minutes long instead of 44 minutes long, and maybe he doesn't talk at all. But he's terrible. He's always like, hey Booth, can I ask you questions about sex positions? And then David Boreanaz is like, I'll fucking shoot you between the eyes if you do that. And then they're like, ha 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 ha.
Not the character I thought he was gonna be.
No, yeah, he is. He's Angel.
No, I thought.
No, he's Angel.
Okay.
If you're curious what his acting choices were, he's Angel.
Nice.
Yeah. So thinking think about any. I will say though, while watching it, I do think I still am episode 5. I'm like, he's gonna vamp out any second now. He's gonna do something. There's definitely more to this character than on the surface. He's definitely gonna vamp out. Another crazy thing too, he's gonna vamp out. He's gonna happen. The other crazy thing too though is that he has a girlfriend in that show, which is crazy in itself. But the crazier part is it's Ann Dudek or Dudek or whatever. The one who's in the first episode of Psych and only the first episode of Psych. Oh. And what's funny is while I was watching the first 15 minutes of the show, I was like, this kind of feels like Psych if it wasn't funny. And then she popped up in the show. Yeah.
That's the mark you want to get at.
Yeah, it feels. I'll say it's better than most cop procedurals, but that's also not saying much in itself. That's kind of saying a little bit.
The cop procedurals are so boring. I don't know how you could just do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be like the thing when we were watching House, and like by episode 8 of House, we're like, oh, this is what House is.
Yeah, that was actually disappointing because you just brought us up the other night how actually enjoyable the first episode of House was, so much so that we actually watched the first 8 episodes.
But Robin Tooney was selling it too.
Yeah, she was great. I was really kind of hoping she'd become like a character.
Yeah.
She's actually underratedly great, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Probably because she does shitty things like Prison Break. That could be a part of it. That could be part of her career trajectory.
While shitty, though, Prison Break is the perfect form of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I rewatched that recently-ish. Probably actually like well over a year ago. Maybe even like closer to 2. So I guess it wasn't that recent at all. And no, I watched the whole first season, and the first like 10 episodes I was like, this is fucking awesome. And then they started like involving more of Link's full-grown man son. And I was like, this show really is a piece of shit.
Dude, I forget that what was his name, LJ or something stupid like that?
I was gonna say TJ, but I think it might have been LJ.
Lincoln Jr. Like no one's ever gone by those initials ever. I don't think. Maybe they have, but it just seems douchey with this character.
No, the only acceptable ones is PJ, TJ, JJ.
It's something fucking normal. LJ,
MJ,
QJ.
PJ, JJ, TJ.
Like imagine if that went by RJ. Oh, RJ's not that bad. Actually.
RJ Barrett.
Yeah, RJ's pretty cool.
RJ's sick.
All right, take it back. LJ's fine.
LJ's shitty, dude. LJ sounds like LG. It's
yeah,
like it's going wireless. It's stupid.
You know, it's just I forgot that kid existed.
That guy, no, he's not a kid. He's a full-grown man.
You're right. You're right. He's got like fucking some serious stubble.
Dude, the guy's like 28 years old, and he's like, Dad, Mom's dead. Fucking Jessalyn Gilsig's dead. Connie Britton's sister is dead.
Who?
Connie Britton's sister is dead.
Oh shit, she's in that.
Will Schuster's wife is dead.
She's pretty good in Friday Night Lights. I like
She's
that.
pretty good in Glee.
She was actually one of the few things that was good about Friday Night Lights season dose.
Yeah. That's true. She's probably never going to be in it again.
Yeah, she's not gonna be back in it.
Yeah. But no, more importantly than that, fucking Prison Break. I watched like the first 10 episodes, but this is good. Then I'm like, this is so stupid. And then it gets to the Prison Break. Then it gets to the actual Prison Break part for the last 5 episodes. Like, now this is back to getting good again. Because it should not have been 22 episodes. And then season 2 starts up. I'm like, this is fucking actually really fun. I'm like, season 2 is pretty sick. And then they kill that guy, Tweaker or whatever. Tweener?
I think it was Tweaker.
I think it's Tweener.
It's one of them.
They kill 2006. And then fucking then they the show. Then I watched one more episode, and there was a scene of Benjamin C-Note Franklin Myers, whatever, and he's talking to some lady in a swamp. And I'm like, this show is fucking garbage. And I turned it off, and I've never watched it again since.
Okay, so everything you just said is exactly the thought process I kind of remember the show being in my head. I remember it starting off being phenomenal, and then it kind of gets fucking boring and goes with the whole okay.
Well, no, the opening scene's the stupidest thing in the world. When he walks into he's like, "Give me the money on the safe."
So it's the tattoo reveal.
That's
tattooed on my
what
entire
were we just
body.
watching? Oh no, didn't it's always saying take a jab at that?
I don't think
Didn't
so.
Max say I wasn't tattooed my body? And it's like, why would you tattoo it on your body?
I probably was asleep during that one.
I think that happened in an episode. It sounds like it could have happened in an episode.
It does sound like what happened.
I think that show is such a fucking. And you're right. No, that show is both perfectly cast and horribly miscast at the same time, which is it's actually harder to do. It's actually harder to do than to perfectly cast a show or to terribly cast a show. It's much harder to do both at the same time. Because you have people. Sure, that's fair. Because you have Wentworth Miller, who I'd say falls into perfect casting.
Okay, I agree.
Then you have Dominic Purcell, who falls into horrific casting.
Yeah, but half the time it kind of works.
Okay. Then
the
you
hat
have
shit was great.
Then you have whoever Sue Cray is, whose name I have not learned. And if that's not good enough distinction or giveaway, guys, he's going into the fucking terrible casting.
He sucked.
Yeah, he was the worst, dude. The guy from Sons of Anarchy, he was good, but the character was shit, so it was terrible casting. So actually, this is quite a misbalance here from terrible to goodness. Actually, come think about. Okay, no, the guy who played the warden, I think his name's like Shannon or Lacey or Sydney or something.
Shannon.
Maybe that guy. Perfect casting.
Really, because I kind of don't like him anytime I see him in anything.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty good in the show.
Really?
Yeah. They brought him back in episode of season 2 randomly. It was a highlight episode.
Really?
Yeah. They were like, I gotta ask you a question about something. He's like, you shouldn't be here.
Hey, did you get to the part when Frank Gates comes into the show? Is that even his name?
It's Frank Grillo.
Grillo, that's it. That's a fake fucking name.
Yeah, he dies in the first season with Robin Tooney. We're only talking about this because of Robin Tooney, who's also, by the way, I loved, horribly miscast.
Yeah, she's terrible.
Frank Grillo, horribly miscast.
Yeah, fucking hate
the
him.
kid playing, the full-grown man playing Lincoln's son, horribly miscast. Robert Nieper, terrifically cast.
Yeah, he's incredible in the show.
In season 2, when he gets the blonde highlights in his hair, he's being a little more flamboyant with it. It's pretty. He's killing it. He's a little more confident in his skin. I like it.
Didn't you think? I think you said this the other day. Didn't you say that fucking Arrested Development did the hand bit because Prison Break did the hand thing with Teabag?
Yeah,
That's fucking
I
hilarious.
think so.
That's funny.
It sounds like something I've said.
That's some funny shit.
Yeah, we should really rewatch that again.
Prison Break?
No,
I'm trying to think of a
Arrested
line.
Development.
Yeah. I was trying to do the by my brother. I was trying to think of that,
Yeah.
but I couldn't figure out how to make it work.
No. Your sister, no. Tobias? No, that's your sister's husband.
You texted me something the other day too. I tried to rewrite that joke and I couldn't fucking figure out how to do it. Though.
I can't think how the joke goes right now.
That's
What's
right?
the first part she says? She's like, I'm in love with someone else. And then she says, I'm in love with your brother-in-law.
You're in love. That's your brother. I think something stupid like that. He
Can't
thinks
do
she's
that.
somebody.
It's just such good writing. It's like you can't actually recapture it.
It didn't take a minute. You said.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think that was like they wrote that in like 15 fucking minutes because Amy Poehler wanted a scene, or Will Arnett wanted, or asked if he could get Amy Poehler a scene, and they're like, yeah. And then Mitch, fucking Hurwitz, cocksucking prick, was like, I got something cocked and ready. Yeah, give me a second just to polish it off, and he just pulls that one out of there. He's like, here you go, guys, this is phenomenal.
That's amazing. When we were outside talking about basketball before, I know, great segue. We kept saying power forward.
Yeah.
Every time you said the word power, I kept hearing power in my head. I saw everything blasting like this every time you said power forward, and you said power forward like 15 fucking
Yeah,
times.
we're talking obviously.
So
We're talking about
funny.
Carmelo Anthony, and then Anthony Davis, and then LeBron. We're watching this video, the rise and fall of Carmelo. And as we're watching it, I was like on the journey with it. This kid from Baltimore, he goes to Syracuse, he wins it all. I'm like, this guy's a legend. And then we're following him, like he's going to Denver, he's putting up some numbers, he's having fun. And then it's like, oh yeah, then he got suspended, got in a fight, had an issue with the coach. J.R. Smith's there causing shit. Allen Iverson gets traded there. They start just all having too much fun not playing basketball. I'm like, oh god, this is heartbreaking. I can feel it going down. This is not okay. No, Melo, please. Even though this happened in 2011, I'm like, he can get out of it still. And I'm thinking, like, just turn it around, man. And he doesn't. And then he goes to the Knicks, and then all the nonsense with the Knicks happens, and the Phil Jackson shit, and everything else. And it's like you start to go on this journey again. You're like, oh, he's going to turn around. It's going to happen. They can just build, and then it's a weird trade. Why'd they trade from the first place? They could have signed him a couple months later. This is such a strange scenario, and everything's weird. Maybe they make it work, and then they don't make it work. You're like, fuck. You go down again. And then you go back up again. And you're like, okay, it doesn't work out in fucking Oklahoma. Doesn't really work out in Houston, but kind of works out in Portland. Works out in Los Angeles. And you're like, yeah, hell yeah. But then it's like, fuck. Still. Could have been so much more. Like I said, it's just gone into Detroit. Been around Ben Wallace and the boys.
I don't feel like you appreciated my power bit. I thought that was hilarious.
I don't even know what you're fucking going on about with your power bit.
I thought it was so funny. I thought it was every time you said the word power for some reason in my head, I thought it was like
I thought you were gonna be like you
behind
thought
it.
of the show or something. You kept picturing. You're like, I just kept thinking of Tommy's ass, and I was like, that'd been kind of funny.
I think what I did before was so very clearly put, and you thought, oh, he means Tommy's ass. How'd you get power? If
What are
anything,
you referencing?
I'm not referencing anything, Alex, because I'm high. When you said the word power, I just heard it super loud in my head, like in a powerful tone.
Sidekick,
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, I heard it amplified.
Nice.
It's some sort of power. So every time I said power forward, I felt like my eyes popped out in like that stupid Snapchat.
Who do you think came up with that scene in Sky High where they were like, guinea pig? He's like spit acid fire, whatever the fuck he says. Like, who do you think wrote that scene? It was like, what if we have her turn? What if that's the comedy? And then the guy's like, where's the comedy? He's like, what if the comedy is she's a guinea pig? And Bruce Campbell's like, that's weird.
Like, this is good. That's good.
And you should keep. What else you got? And he's like, what if this one person's power is to be a beach volleyball? No, not even a beach volleyball. No, that's too. No, what if it's like an inflatable beach ball?
You have a loose concept on the word power.
And what if this guy's power? He doesn't have any powers at all, but then maybe he does have powers. And what if we cast Michael Anaragano, that little guinea short kid from the city, and then we put Nicholas Holt there, who is going to become this super tall guy. So then they become friends. So then they make a movie together that's just hilarious to watch because one's this tall and one's that tall. And it's like watching twins. It's adorable. Yeah. What was that?
That was pretty accurate too. You're doing the whole height comments, so rather than just say, "Oh yeah," and also like I just thought I would just hum the song and cool. I'd be podcaster. I bet he's clearly back into the chair.
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I'm excited for this episode, but this isn't like the best episode we've done. This is just like this is an okay one.
Yeah,
this is a serviceable one. Because the last ones have been terrible.
It feels no. The last ones.
No, the last ones that people have heard have been phenomenal.
Yeah,
the ones that haven't been heard
are
are
theory
horrible.
about that. I tried starting the episodes the last times, and maybe I shouldn't just be able to start the conversation ever.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the trajectory of the good ones, the ones where I speak the least amount are the ones that seem to be the funnier ones.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually the ones where I just go off on a random tangents that get pretty funny.
That's true. So you want to hit my dumb theory?
Oh, no, I don't. I was also going to say, I was considering when you were getting ready for the cast, I was thinking, like, should I'm like, I think I might just start doing the Bill Russell thing and start just vomiting before every game. So maybe I'll just start, finger fucking my face a little bit before each episode and then just kind of, kill the nerves out.
That's interesting. I was considering just jerking off before each episode. So we had similar tactics, but just very different excretions.
Honestly, maybe you should do that. Maybe that would mellow you out where you wouldn't feel the need to cut me off so much if you were just sitting there like, meh.
Yeah, but then you get pissed I don't talk enough.
No, because then you'd be like, yeah.
So I want me to just be the yeah guy? Okay.
Andy Richter's kind of just the yeah guy.
Who?
Andy Richter's kind of just the yeah guy rolling it back to Arrested Development.
I don't know if I want to be Andy Richter, though.
All right, you can be then. I thought I was being generous there. Okay, right? I guess you want to be fucking Guillermo or whatever from the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
No.
Do you want to be fucking?
I want to be Paul Schaefer.
All right, that's pretty.
Just your glasses all the time.
Pretty fucking.
It just above my head. Yeah, that works. I'll be the Paul Schaefer of this group.
Do you think Letterman brought him over to his new thing on Netflix?
I have no idea.
I don't know either, but I'm just wondering.
I
You
think
think
that'd
there's
be
a
pretty
chance?
scummy if he didn't.
Yeah, that'd be like imagine if Conan. Does Conan have Andy Richter on his podcast? I know Conan started a podcast after Coco or whatever is done, but if Andy
He
Richter
only did to get away from Andy Richter.
yeah, he's like fucking even and then yeah, like Arrested Development called him like, hey Conan, we got a spot for you. He's like, that'd be great. And he's like, fucking Andy's in the show. God fucking damn it, guys. One day off. And then he's like, fucking Andy's here.
He's done 40 episodes of the podcast so far, and he hasn't had Andy Richter on yet.
Really? That'd be fucking sick. You were on your phone for a second. I thought, man, I was like, how the hell did he figure that out that
I wasn't
fast?
on my phone. He's like, I glanced at my phone for a sec.
Well, I'm gonna look it up now. We gotta figure this out. That's gonna be that'd be a harsh cliffhanger to leave. Also, I really want to talk about Twin Peaks right now. There's not enough time.
Dude, I've been thinking about Twin Peaks nonstop.
Also, I have
Twin
so many
Peaks.
notes that I wanted to get into last week, but last week we just couldn't figure out how to record an episode properly.
I have
So
notes.
I have so many. No, your notes suck.
I was going to see how
Okay.
bad my notes were. I wasn't going to take credit like I had.
I have
great
really good
things.
notes that could lead into like. I feel like I have 9 episodes worth of content here. All right,
I
buddy.
had 2 seconds worth of content that I was convinced was going to be 45 minutes.
What question was I looking up? Oh,
Is
Conan,
Andy Richter and Conan real friends?
You know what's the most like sad podcast I've ever heard?
Like the podcast is always this particular episode.
No, you want what the most what?
Just say what you're going to say. I'm not contributing much.
The worst podcast is because I feel like every podcast is just worthless in a sense because of what it is by nature. But like I feel like occasionally,
Don't say that, Alex.
I feel like occasionally you're right because then why would they pay
Chick
for
is
it?
up. Don't say
You gotta
that.
pay for it, guys. It's fantastic stuff. You need it. You
Ours
need
isn't
it.
worthless. The rest of them are.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to get into. I was going to say there are obviously a few standout examples of podcasts which are phenomenal, a la us. And but there's a podcast which was just I feel like exceptionally. A lot of them are exceptionally bad, but like, this one was just like there's not even any merit here. This is just meritless, and it was oddly enough the fucking podcast of David Spade and no, was it David Spade? Yeah, it was David Spade and Dana Carvey's podcast, wasn't it? Is that what we filmed for a second? And it was just the most boring thing
fly on
ever.
the wall.
Yeah, that was the most unnecessary
I
and
forgot.
incessantly boring thing I've ever heard.
I forgot we watched it. Thanks for bringing that to my attention.
And they had I kept thinking about that time, and it's not even like I think the issues got. I don't know. Like, I don't think the issues David Spade is because he's kind of funny when I was watching him on a couple podcasts when he was on like fucking Two Bears. He was whatever. But then Dana Carvey too. It's like
Well, I watched
But
that
the Dana
skit you
Carvey
sent me
show
that
was so
David Spade
funny.
Was in a 10-second bit about him with his neighbor. or
That was
whatever.
interesting.
He was funny in that.
it was like, what do you do there? And the problem is, I kept thinking of the SNL thing, that bit he was talking about. And he was saying how the issue with him and Dana at first was that everything that he would be good for in the sketch, Dana would also be good for. They should just give it to Dana, and he kept not getting parts because of it. And I was like, no. Lauren just knew that you guys had literally zero chemistry together, so he just didn't put you in sketches. That's the problem, David, was that you two guys act horribly together, and there's nothing between the two of you.
That seems like a really good point.
And then they made a
'Cause I also
podcast.
don't think I can picture anything that David Spade's done that Dana Carvey also makes sense for.
Yeah, I don't think I would have
can't
really
picture David Spade
enjoyed
as
Tommy
fucking
Boy.
Garth,
Yeah.
or right, like you just said, I can't picture fucking.
Dude, can you
Dana
imagine how
Carvey.
shitty? Yeah, that's actually a good point. That's a bullshit
So who
thing.
the fuck came with that? That's just them telling us they stop fucking picking again upset with each other.
Because, yeah, Garth would have been absolutely horrific by David Spade.
What would he
And
even done?
And I don't know. Both characters would have been so undeniably somehow flat in the opposite way. Because there's no way David Spade does the whole. David Spade is not putting in that much effort to doing a physical thing.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
not doing
the jaw thing.
He's not doing that
whatsoever.
at all. He's just going to be David Spade, which is fine. But it's not going to
Not-
work.
Yeah, not in that fucking movie.
And then it's like, so that's not going to play right. And also, how the hell does Mike Myers then play off of that?
Exactly.
And at the same time, how the hell is Chris Farley going to shine playing off of whatever the hell Dana Carvey's trying to do?
Yeah, remember that movie Master of Disguise? That'd be Dana Carvey
Exactly.
the whole fucking time.
Like, how is that going to fly with Chris Farley? And then, not to mention,
And
just the dynamic of it. Can you imagine, like,
be no
for some
dynamic.
reason,
It'd be
Chris
terrible.
Farley, David Spade, and Rob Lowe make sense to me perfectly.
yeah,
So much to the fact that when I put on Terrible Black Sheep,
you want Rob Lowe to be.
I was like, they didn't cast Rob Lowe for that part of the brother? That's literally, like, written for him. The guy looks like he's a knockoff Rob Lowe.
Yeah, you're right. He
I
does.
think it's the same director, too. Well, actually, no, I think it's a different director. I mean, that's the issue, actually. But I don't know. My point is, but can you imagine a cast? Can you imagine seeing a mark, like, on the fucking head? It says Chris Farley, Dana Carvey, and Rob Lowe. That doesn't sound like a movie. That sounds like a failed science experiment. So yeah, I don't understand how they could have been ever interchangeable.
Interesting
in any
though that
capacity.
you just said that though, because Rob Lowe is also in Wayne's World acting with him and Garth.
Yeah, but Chris Farley doesn't work with this guy.
No, but my point is, I thought I couldn't picture Dana Carvey.
Why wasn't
at
Rob Lowe just
all.
on SNL?
That's good point.
What were you doing that was so busy? Well, I can think of
Yeah,
one thing he was
St.
doing.
Elmo's Fire, which was,
No, I was thinking that scandal thing he was doing around that time.
I don't know what that scandal thing was.
Really?
Yeah, I know literally nothing about.
Yeah, I guess Rob Lowe has really managed to just skeet on past that. Is he on a show currently too? On some like fire show where he's like, I'm a fireman.
Yeah, I think he's on the spin-off fucking dumb show that's on.
Oh, Peter Krause's current.
And if it's
Cross
not
to
the
Bear.
spin-off, it's the exact same fucking show, just with firemen.
Yeah, it does dawn on me quite. I'll randomly, be up at night thinking, like the scene in The Sopranos when Tony's just handling his, or even when Walt's looking to the side in the dark blue light.
Yeah.
I'll be up like that thinking, lying awake at 2, 3 in the morning, and I'll be thinking like, does Peter Krause ever think maybe he should be doing better? I mean, I know it's a real accomplishment to be on TV every single fall season for the last 30 years. That's all. It's an amazing feat. But maybe you should be. Maybe occasionally you can just say no to a show that isn't good because you're so good and you can do good shows like 6 Feet Under more.
So for a second, I thought you were gonna somehow manage to reference the fucking scene in True Detective season 2 of Vince Vaughn when he's staring at the ceiling, going on and on about the ceiling at 3:00 in the morning. I don't know why, but I just thought you were gonna somehow pull it out of your ass. I was gonna be amazed. Secondly, though, what you did just talk about, I forgot already. Do you mind giving me a quick sum? Oh, laying down. Who are you thinking about? Peter Krause. I don't understand. I think he's phenomenal, but is he that phenomenal that like people are like he has to be on TV every fall? Like how is he landing every role?
Yes.
Especially because of how bad some of these fucking shows are he's landing.
Okay, so Peter Krause goes on. I think his first thing, aside from Third Rock from the Sun, is
I'm glad you put that up.
I think Sports Night, the Aaron Sorkin show.
I really want to watch that show. That show looks like it's probably amazing.
It's supposed to be ahead of its time, really good. Blah blah blah. Haven't seen it, but I imagine it's good. And I'm gonna confidently just assume it is.
Well, here's the thing. It's also by the guy that did Newsroom, which was not amazing.
Okay, true, but so excluding that, my point is that's good. And then he goes on to 6 Feet Under, which is the greatest show ever made, and he's phenomenal in it.
Yep.
And I think about it every single day of my life.
Yep.
And then
it's not even a lie.
No, it's an
think about
accurate
once a
thing.
day.
And then he goes on to fucking Dirty Sexy Money.
Hold on, you're right. He is that good because I literally think about not only this show, I think about him specifically.
Every single day of my life, I think
his
about Peter Krause.
character in that show once a day.
Every single day of my life, I think about Peter Krause.
Yeah, you should tweet that shit.
That was such a podcast, Rob.
I know.
You should tweet that shit.
Yeah.
Can you just talk for 2 seconds as I write down something, Rob? Can you just talk for 2 seconds?
Yeah, he's fucking phenomenal in 6
So no, he's great in that, and then Dirty Sexy Money, okay, is a show he chose to go on, and it was like okay, and then he did that for a little bit, and then he went on Parenthood.
Don't you think he's gonna never do that kind of thing again?
Then he goes on Parenthood, and it's actually a really good show, and he's really good in it, and it's surprisingly good, and everything's great.
It really holds up, and it gets stronger.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then you think, you know what? They can't all be 6 Feet Under. This is pretty good. Adam's a pretty nice follow-up to Nate.
Yeah, dude, you're in my head.
But then he's like, what if I do a show called The Catch or something like that?
Oh, my God, I forgot.
And what if one day Alex and Robbie decide to put it on and they get to watch me be a sexy super spy who is the dumbest spy ever, walking around in such a flashy way with terrible music playing. It's 2016 or 2015, and you're walking around, but I'm actually dating her, and it's this really fun, really cool show. And now the person who loves 6 Feet Under with their entire being, unfortunately, will always watch 6 Feet Under and have this flashback taken back to 2015, 2016, 2017, and that time going to Disney, and all the Disney buses all having advertisements on all their Disney buses for ABC's The Catch this fall. With Peter Krause's face there just smiling like, look, I'm sexy in a suit. So now whenever I think about my favorite show of all time, I'm immediately forced to think about a terrible show he followed it up with.
Yeah, fuck you, Peter Krause.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, you just described a terrible, terrible thing he's done.
Yeah, and then on top of the thing, he's like, all right, that was a bad, and you think it's a blunder, it's a mulligan. maybe he needs one good show, one bad show, one good show, one bad show. No, then he doubles down and goes on to fucking whatever show he's currently on about fucking firefighters or EMTs or fucking guys who like the forest or fucking I don't know, dude. I've seen the trailer. They're in the woods a lot. I think maybe they're firefighters. Maybe no, I think Russell Crowe. I think Rob Lowe is the firefighter. And maybe Peter Krause is the EMT.
Yeah, Peter Krause is the EMT on
911. That's a great name of the show. Also, guess what, guys? All I see when I see is 9/11. Okay,
yeah.
I don't see 911 ever.
Yeah,
it's just 9/11. Never forget. Never forget. That could have been just the end of it. Now it's too late to pause now. So I'm gonna talk a little longer.
Okay, cool. That's why I didn't say anything. So it felt too good, and I think I would have said it just immediately.
Yeah, no. So now we gotta go like this another 2 minutes here.
Yeah, I forgot all about us watching it the other night. That was horrendous. Like,
yeah.
I blocked it from my mind, and I'm like, well, I guess he hasn't really done that many shows that are that bad, I guess I'm just being really harsh on him. No, that is fucking terrible, and now I'm not going to be able to watch the screener the same way either, so thank you for ruining that for me.
Do you remember those billboards?
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Dude, yeah.
As soon as you said it, I was sitting right back into those fucking...
Those purple bus seats. Those purple and green bus seats.
I was just an anxious little fucking prick. If I had only known how stupid I was, I should have enjoyed the shit out of those times.
Dude, you know the booze run on Epcot? Best thing ever?
Yeah, I can't wait to do that again. That was
yeah,
so
but now I'm going to do it high.
Yeah, fucking, we're gonna...
Dude, remember those fucking annoying little fucking weirdos? I don't know why you remember them. You weren't there. You didn't, for some reason, get a drink at the American Pavilion. And I did.
I got a beer at Mom for some reason.
Yeah, because you're a dick. So I went to the spot to get the cocktail myself, and there are these two Louisiana fine guys who were like, "What do you think this Bayou cocktail gonna taste like?" I can't imagine it's gonna be that good.
To you?
To me. And like, boy, what do you think it's gonna taste like? And like, huh? And like, where? And then they're like, I swear to God, this isn't even for comedic value. They kept telling me, they're like, oh, by the way, we're not a couple. Our wives are right over there. Our wives are right there. Just trust us. And I was like, I didn't think anything of it. So now you guys are mentioning, I'm thinking you guys are fucky.
Pretty sure your wife.
But then they were like, are you ordering the Bayou cocktail? And I was like, yep. And they're like, ah. And then they were talking to me about like crawfish and shit. And then they're like, you think they'd have a little more South America in here? And they're like salivating over themselves. These two old fucking weirdos from the South. These fucking losers. And I'm somehow in this little imaginary world and by myself and no one's around. I'm like, how the hell is this the place where I'm standing alone with these fucking weirdos? And what am I going to do? Just turn around and stop listening? They're like, boy.
That's fucked up.
They're like, the Bayou cocktail. It doesn't taste like the Bayou to me. It's ridiculous.
Started attacking people.
But yeah, and also, if you're curious, the drink tasted like complete shit. It was like I feel like some of the drinks were hidden.
What does the Bayou even taste like? Because it sounds like it tastes like swamp.
I know, I don't fucking know, dude. It sounds fucking rancid.
Isn't that what the Bayou is?
Louisiana
Isn't it like
should just be
water?
swallowed away by the sea, okay?
Like, why the fuck do you want it to taste like the Bayou?
I don't know, man. It was fucking disgusting. Those guys were weird, and they were crudely tan.
Dude, every Disney experience I've had has just been nothing but charming. I'm sad you had to carry that one all these
No,
years. I never even heard this story till just now.
I got a lot of stories, man.
Fuck, I got no stories. You know all my stories.
The other part of it was that was like the only drink that wasn't drinkable. Everything else, there were some drinks that were hit or miss. I know like the one in France, the La Vienne Rose was like, it was okay. You know, the Apple Schweizenwasser was all right or whatever, you know. But it's like some of the drinks are hits, like the limoncello margarita in Italy. That shit's amazing.
Yeah, I stuck with beer because I figured most of the drinks would be a miss.
The point, though, was of all the drinks, they were all drinkable, but the fucking Bayou was the most egregiously disgusting thing, and I think I had two tips like this is gross, and got rid of it. Other thing that popped in my head now thinking about Disney was walking around wearing my FDNY hat. Wasn't a smart move.
Why is that?
Do you know how many times I had to say I wasn't a firefighter?
Yeah, shit. That happens to you all the fucking time.
And
stop wearing that
one
hat,
woman
dude.
literally was going to give me free stuff, and I was like, I'm not a firefighter. She's like, oh, okay, well, you can pay for it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pay for it.
Wait, the cashier?
Because I felt morally... I was thinking about it. I was like, nah, this feels morally wrong. I'm going to die in a fire if I do this. They're not going to come to my house. They're not going to come to my house. Like, I can't do this. Gave it back to her. She was going to give me like a fucking... Because it was the really hot day, and I got an ice cream thing. She's like, you can just have this one on the free before you do. I'm like, no.
On the arm.
And then again, you went into the fucking... Because you have to pee all the time, which sounds like we're now dating for me bring attention to that. But no, so you were in the bathroom and some guy walked out and started talking about the fireman and how he's a firefighter in New York, and then his daughter came out and they're talking about blah 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 blah, and then she asked if I was a firefighter. I said no, and then the third kid came out and asked if I was a firefighter. I said no. And then they're talking about like how it's nice that I was at least like supporting and blah 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 and blah 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 and blah 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 blah, and how he's actually from Jersey, but he actually wears the fire department hat still for New York instead of wearing the one from Jersey, and then how his precinct blah 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 and blah 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 blah, what station he was at and blah blah blah, not precinct, he's not a cop, he's a firefighter. And then there was that other old guy who was stopped at us in front of the fucking Muppet thing who was talking about being a firefighter, and then there's the guy who was at the fucking front of the Muppet line who was talking to us about living in Staten Island or living in the Bronx or something like that. And me and him were talking for like 20 minutes, and you're like, how the hell are you talking about? I don't know anything this guy's talking about. I was just going back and forth with this guy.
Dude, my mind was, I forgot about that too. God, why is my memory just for shit? How do you retain all this?
I don't know, man. I don't forget a single thing that's ever happened.
That blew my mind. We're fucking standing there, and this dude's talking about growing up in one of the boroughs.
I think it was the Bronx.
And he's going on and on about taking this road and that road and this and that and Skadoozy, Fugazi. And
yeah, it's a wazi, it's a woozy.
Yes. And Alex
it's fucking
around,
fairy dust. It's not real.
And I was like, yeah, I know. I did the same thing. And you became fucking C.
Yeah. I'm just colloquial. I was like...
All of a sudden you knew everything.
This is my street. Right there. That's my apartment. This is where I grew up.
I was like the little kid when he looked up at his fucking dad.
I was Sonny.
Amazing.
He said that for the first time, Sonny looked back at me.
Yeah, that's what
he was looking
like.
right at me. And I liked it.
I'm like, how does he know all this shit?
I know, man. It was crazy. I guess I just watched the Bronx so much. I was like, I know the Bronx. I was like, yeah, I was in Fordham.
That's amazing. I couldn't.
Fucking love a Bronx Tale, dude. I guess I can end it there. That's a it's not a big laugh. That's like just a good statement to end on. Is that's a good movie. We should honestly just drive somewhere again and just listen to it. That was a pretty cool thing to do when we went to the Sands.
We should start doing that with other movies and talk about how different the experience is.
Yeah, but I feel like the Bronx Tale is like the one to do it with. That's like that's the fucking Citizen Kane of car movies.
Yeah, well, it is now. It's pretty high. Yeah, well, yeah, it's gonna be hard to top. It's got just the right amount of down moments, just the right amount of high moments.
Yeah, and just enough like great dialogue to really pull you through there.
Yeah, so much to the fact it almost sounds like you're just listening to like an audiobook.
Yeah,
like,
it's really fucking sick.
And the music's fucking timed perfectly.
He has a podcast, Chaz Palminteri, and I've only listened to a minute of it, but I will no matter what always praise it. So it's just phenomenal, I guess, because he did it, and
he's just cool.
He's just cool. But, he was talking about some really weird stuff. He was going on like it was really interesting. It was like 2 days ago. I've never heard of the podcast before, but it was randomly my suggestion, so I put it on, and he was just like trying to explain something that happened. So he was like, no. What I actually said was this and this. No, because what I know. So I said it because of this, because he told me this. So I thought I was under the impression of this happening, and then he told me this, which is why I said this. So actually, the reason I said this in the first place was of this. And I was like, bro, this just started. This is my first time ever seeing your podcast. You're defending a lot right now, or trying to justify things or explain things. I can't follow a word you're saying. I'm out of here, man. And I was out of there. But I am considering just going and hanging out at Palmintari's every day. Like 45 minutes, 55. That's probably like an hour and 15 minutes, actually. But just go hang out over there and then hope he walks and be like, hey, man.
What we should do is...
I think he hangs out in the one in the Bronx more. I don't think he hangs out in the one in Manhattan. So we have to drive a little further.
All of you listening should really start fulfilling your obligation to listening.
We should turn this into a financial domination podcast where we just insult people and to pay us money.
You're just donating. You're donating to a good cause.
Yeah, but you're subservient, and you have an obligation to donate.
Yeah, to your congregation.
Now we can get tax write-offs.
Yeah, it's fucking A, dude.
We'll do the Doug thing from weed. We'll just start a religious occult.
We already got the paperwork kind of started.
We do.
We can kind of.
Yeah, that's actually okay. So we'll end it here. You're still pledging money. Go to the Patreon. Give us all of you're suffering through the day, having a hard time. Give us that money, and then we'll think about how to benefit further making this into a cult, and then we'll get back to you guys on how you can give more and more and more, and how we can take more and more from you. So thank you. It's been great.